if we give into our soul's desires, it can become so strong. And honestly, that's how addiction takes place. You give into a desire to your soul, and before you know it, you're taken captive by it and you feel like you're controlled by it. Whether that's some sort of sexual thing or whether that's substance abuse or any other negative thing that you can get addicted to, those things can become so strong in your life that it seems almost impossible to get rid of those things. And so that happens because you were cultivating the wrong thing. It's like, imagine if I went out to my garden and I got my beautiful tomato plants and some weeds growing next to it. And instead of watering my tomato plant, I say, I'm going to water this weed. And I just go out every day to my garden and water all the weeds and, spray a little weed killer on the tomato plants. And then I just keep taking nurturing weeds. That's what you're doing essentially when you're cultivate or when you're giving into your soulish desires. And your soul will end up becoming so strong that it's choking all the spiritual fruit out of your life that you should be having. Some people wonder, why am I not having more spiritual fruit in my life? Well, what have you been cultivating in your life? Have you been cultivating the spirit, or have you been giving into the body and giving into the soul? So, because some people will end up feeding their body and feeding their soul and then blaming God for the fact that they aren't growing spiritually. They blame God that, "Oh, I'm sick in my body," or, I don't feel like I have a purpose in life," or they come up with all these different things, maybe it's poverty or whatever the case may be where they're struggling, and they'll point the finger at God as if he's the one at fault. But if we were to examine ourselves, as the Bible tells us to do, and look at what have we been feeding and nurturing in our life, you can almost guarantee that if we are nurturing and feeding our spirit man, we'll do like Jesus said, and we'll always have the victory. We'll always have the triumph over the devil. We'll resist the devil and he'll flee. But you can't really resist the devil and he'll flee if you've been giving into all of the soulish and fleshly desires that you want to, right? And so we have to make our spirit man strong.